Now the second application of Gauss theorem is electric intensity at a point outside a infinitely long wire. Now infinitely long wire means what? I can consider as any long wire and over this long wire having certain length, a charge q is deposited uniformly per unit length. So this q charge is deposited uniformly per unit length. So as the charge is deposited per unit length, I can define one of the physical quantity which you have studied last year. That is linear charge density, which is denoted by letter lambda. So linear charge density is charge distributed per unit length. So length is nothing but L. Means now here charge deposited over the conductor Q is equal to nothing but lambda into L. Now whatever this infinitely long wire we have considered, this infinitely long wire having radius as a capital R, and let your P point is there which is outside infinitely long wire, and this P point is at a distance of small r from the infinitely long wire, and here at this P point we want to find out the electric intensity according to Gauss theorem. So in Gauss theorem, what is the thing? First is we have to draw a Gaussian closed surface which encloses this P point. So what we do? We draw one of the Gaussian cylinder such that the radius of that Gaussian cylinder is small r and length of that Gaussian cylinder is nothing but as a L. And your P point is lying on the curved surface area of that Gaussian cylinder. So that is step number 1. Step number 2, we have to locate a ds surface area where your P point is going to be lie. So this is your ds surface area where your point P is going to be lie. Now I can show the direction of electric intensity. So from this positive charge, your lines of force will start. It will pass through this ds surface area and it will give us, this arrow will indicate the direction of electric intensity. Now your direction of electric intensity and your surface area ds, they are perpendicular to each other. As they are perpendicular to each other, means through that small surface area ds, I can write down magnetic flux, small magnetic flux, which is equal to nothing but EDS. Same as that of your previous case, whatever you have considered in case of sphere. Here, your perpendicular component, this is your perpendicular component of ds, and direction of electric intensity, they are parallel to each other. Therefore, angle between perpendicular component of ds and electric intensity E is 0. As it is 0, so if I'll write this phi equation in the format, d phi is equal to vector E dot ds, which can be written as a E ds cos theta, while theta angle between perpendicular component of ds and intensity, which is 0, cos of 0 is 1. So your d phi can be written as d phi is equal to E ds cos of 0, and cos of 0 means it is equal to 1. So this is your equation number 1. From this d phi, if I want to find out the phi, so I'll write down phi integration of d phi over a closed area, which is equal to integration over a closed area E ds. This is my equation number 2. And according to Gauss theorem, that is your step number 4, that is according to Gauss theorem, your phi is equal to nothing but q upon epsilon naught. So that is my equation number 3. Now if I compare equation number 2 and 3, so I can write down closed integral of E ds, which is equal to nothing but q upon epsilon naught. In that integration, your E is intensity, which is constant, so that should be taken out of integration. So E closed integral of ds which is equal to nothing but q upon epsilon naught. Now you have to concentrate on closed integral of ds. Your ds surface area is located on a Gaussian cylinder having radius small r, length is nothing but L. So the meaning of closed integral of ds means the curved surface area of your Gaussian cylinder over which your lines of forces are passing. So your lines of forces are passing through a curved surface area. So as it is passing through a curved surface area means I can write down here as a closed integral of ds can be written as a 2 pi r L as a curved surface area of this Gaussian cylinder. And this value of closed integral of ds, if I will substitute in the equation, I will write down E into closed integral of ds value is 2 pi r L, which is equal to nothing but q upon epsilon naught. And therefore your intensity formula, now I can write down the intensity formula can be written as E is equal to nothing but q upon 2 pi r L epsilon naught. So this is our first formula for intensity at a point outside infinitely long wire. Same formula I can modify with the help of value of q. Value of q I can substitute from linear charge density. So already these two formula I have written. From linear charge density I am getting q is equal to lambda into L. So this value of q, if I substitute in the formula, I will write E is equal to, instead of q I will write formula lambda L divided by twice r L epsilon 0. So your L factor will get cancelled, and if L factor will get cancelled, I will get intensity formula E is equal to lambda upon 2 pi r epsilon naught. So this is nothing but the second formula for electric intensity. And now from that formula, if I substitute now, this is nothing but intensity formula in terms of charge, this is the intensity formula in terms of a lambda. So using that two formula, here I will get it that your intensity is directly proportional to lambda and inversely proportional to r. Lambda is linear charge density, r is nothing but the distance where your P point is going to be located. Okay, thank you.